I came with reasons for you to explain why you killed my best fucking friend.
Fuck you gonna say?
Well, seeing how season 4 has concluded of Raising Kanan, and we've gotten like that big twist at the end of if Rock is dead or alive, or if Kanan, if he actually killed his own mother, or was the murder was interrupted by something, right? And we don't know. And I think that's what's gonna have everybody like spinning right now, because regarding like the 5th season of like Raising Kanan, which is gonna be like the last, and I think all of the big deaths that we've been like speculating on and talking about for like quite a while now is going to most likely take place in like in season 5, because seeing how we got the introduction to Breeze, and now I think it's perfect because they're going to talk about Breeze throughout like season 5, like to give us like maybe more of a backstory on the guy, and then obviously they're going to transition over to like Power Origins, where we're going to get Ghost and Tommy, and then maybe some other surprises, and then Tasha, right? We're gonna get more, right? Angela, like, the whole gang, we're gonna get everybody, right? And I think what they did for like, Rock, it's perfect, because I've talked about this, because I said they could have done it in a way where it's like, okay, if Kanan did kill Rock, right, then it's like you're gonna start it up early where it's Kanan starting to like become his own man and kind of like take over, but he's still gonna have like 2 snakes in his garden, which is, Snaps and Pop was the one to influence him to kill Rock. So when you think about it, it's kind of like ironic of how Kanan did the same thing to Tariq, but how when Tariq was seeing Kanan's ghost and he was being influenced, like, yeah, you need to do this, right? It's kind of slightly the same way of how, Snaps and Pop did it, even though they was responsible. They was responsible. So it's like, if they was to go with the story where it's like, all right, let's just say that Kanan did kill Rock, right? Because we don't know if she's dead or alive, and that's what's getting everybody talking right now. We don't know if she's dead or alive. But if he did kill her, right, and then he come to find out the truth, it's like, I think this is gonna be a driving edge to break him even more, to be like, he killed Rock for no reason, right? And it's like, what if they do a thing where he actually see Rock's ghost, and then it's just like, I would I would say, like, in a way of what Tariq should have gotten from Ghost. Like, he should have probably seen Ghost, like Ghost is Ghost, right? And like maybe like a confirmation of maybe, okay, you did it, or maybe some sort of form of regret, right? Because we know how when Monet seen like Mecca and Lorenzo's ghost, and I think they should probably correct something that they didn't correct in the original Power with Tariq, when Tariq was hallucinating and he was at truth, and then I think his son kind of like comes up to him the same way he did to Ghost. It was like, oh, you unaware of my future, and then I guess he supposedly shoots him or whatever, or he shoots his like darker self or imagination of the person that he's trying to become. That dumb shit, right? If they would have canceled that bit up out of it, right, then I think they can kind of like correct themselves here, and they can say like, well, maybe he would see Rock's ghost, and they could do something that the original what Power Book 2 Ghost didn't do. I think if they would have done it that way, if she's dead now, then I think you would correct like a big mistake and have it in a way where it's just like, okay, he's talking to her ghost now. But if she is alive, which I'm still banking on that Rock is actually alive, then I think that there is still more story that they can kind of like tie up with like Rock. Right now, I said that maybe she could be in a coma, right? I was like, maybe she could be in a coma, but if the killing was interrupted by something else, then like I said, I think they could give more to like Rock's story. They can tie up some loose ends with the story, and then that's when they can just transition to like Power Origins, where it's like, all right, Rock and the Thomas family, they not a part of like what's really happening right now, and it's really like Breeze and Kanan. That's like the main focus of the story, because throughout like 4 seasons and maybe potentially 5, it was Rock, and we got to establish like the characters like Marvin, Rock, and Lulu, right? We got to establish like the players, and we known that she was the one in control for quite a long time, and she was making like these big moves and these big changes, and it was always Rock that was in control. So it's like now if they want to transition into like season 5 where they're going to try to step away from Rock and focus more on Kanan and Breeze, then I think that's going to be the direction that they're going to really focus on. But the question is, it's like, is Rock alive or is she dead? And like I said, I'm still going to bank on that Rock is alive. Now, after season 5, it's like, I don't know, because here's the thing, because it was the same way with Unique, where it was like when we all thought Unique was dead, and we was like, okay, technically he was, but I keep saying this, he was dead, but he was brought back because of plot, because Ronnie killed him. And you know, if, like I said, if the actor didn't have other projects to do, I think the main focus would have been Ronnie, but they brought back Unique. So it's like, okay, so now we have Unique, and I think going forward in like in Power Origins, I don't really see Unique being alive for that long. He might not be around for too long, because how many of y'all in the comment section down below, how many of y'all would want to see, I guess, a Unique versus Kanan, right? Who I wouldn't, because then it would be the same thing as how it was with Rock, and I don't think nobody want to see that. I think people will want to see something new, something fresh, of having like Kanan and Breeze take on newer enemies and newer threats. I mean, we haven't seen the Serbs yet. They still got to go into more of an explanation as to why Kanan hates the Italians, besides the stuff that he's not actively involved in. Because again, all this, like this war and all this shit that's happening around him, but he's not particularly involved in it, right? Like he's sort of caught up in it, but not really though, because Snaps and Pop was the one that really inflicted the harm to him, not the Italians, right? Sure, Rock had a bit of part of it in the past, but it was really Snaps and Pop like throughout this entire season that was fucking with Kanan. So that's why I'm saying it's like they have to give us a definitive answer in season 5 on if Rock is actually dead or alive, because I know they're gonna be playing up this story, and we've seen articles that came out, potentially, Patina Miller, like she might be exiting, she might not, but I think this is another swerve to swerve the fans to being like, oh, she's actually gonna be gone. That murder did happen, and that's it. And I'm like, nah, man, you're not gonna do that shit. You're not gonna do that shit. Like you did that shit with Unique, and you swerved us good with that. But it's like, nah, man. You even had Joey Badass, because I think when TMZ or somebody interviewed him, they was like, yeah, man, you died. Yeah, man, that was crazy. And he fooled us. He worked us. He was like, yeah, man. Unique was a great character, and that was it. And he died. Lo and behold, he shows up in the last episode of season 3, and we like, what the fuck? How did this happen? So it's like, no, I don't think they're gonna do that. I really think they're not gonna do that. So I think they just playing like these games for now, right? Leaving us in the dark, because again, we didn't see what happened. It was just, you heard a pow, but we didn't see what happened. So I'm like, okay, it gives us possibility and hope that Rock is actually still alive. And like I said in my review, I was like, it wouldn't make any sense for Rock to die, because you still got a whole war that's happening, a whole damn war. And I'm like, you telling me that you gonna kill her right when the war has just started, right when Unique is looking for Rock and the Trenton guys is looking for the Thomas? No, come on, you're not gonna do this to me. Like I said, you're not gonna do this. So I think that this is just a big old swerve, right? And until like season 5, because like I said, the big deaths is probably gonna happen in season 5. Of those who is close to you is gonna be the ones that's gonna end up dead, right? And I think that I'm still, like I said, I still say maybe Marvin. I still look at maybe Marvin probably being the one to take that bullet. I don't know, maybe Lulu, who knows, right? It's a lot that's going on right now. But for Rock, out of like Marvin and Lulu, nah, I don't see it. No, I just don't. But if I was to say, okay, we was to play with that idea, if Rock was to go, then you would have Marvin and Lulu again. They would have to try to figure out the plan for themselves to handle Akbar, Unique, and like, how would that work? Like, that's the thing. It's like, how would that even play into a factor? Because without Rock, these two ain't leading shit. And it's like I said, Kanan ain't doing it, because Kanan's already thinking about siding with Unique. So it's like, no, you're gonna need Rock. You're gonna need Rock. Rock is gonna be the one to come back into the fold and be like, hold up, I gotta settle this shit. And then after, when the dust is settled, what's gonna happen to Rock, like what's gonna really happen to her, and if she maybe dies, maybe she leaves, right? Because I would want it if Rock was to like leave. Like I wouldn't want her to die because we all love Rock. We all love Rock, but I would prefer if Rock was to like leave and she, like I said, she find what's his face, Symphony. She go off to find Symphony somewhere, right? And just say, you know what, Kanan showed her something when he pointed the gun at her, where he was gonna kill her that night, and she showed that maybe she shouldn't really be around. Like maybe that shit that happened to her, right, could be like, okay, like fuck it, like I don't want this shit, right? And they can kind of like mend fences, and then Rock leaves, right? Because I don't want them to repeat how they did in File Book 2 Ghost, where you had Monet die to protect, Kane and Drew and Diana. I wouldn't want that, because I feel like that was for Monet. I think they should do something completely different for Rock, instead of it having Kanan. Because here's the thing, you would do the same thing like how you did in the original Power, where it's like, okay, Tariq kills Ghost, right? Okay, even though it would be justified and we would understand why Kanan did that, sure. I don't want that, and then I don't think I would want it where she dies to protect Kanan. Sure, it would be cool, and it would mend the fences even more, where it's just like she died to protect Kanan, and she would never raise a gun to Kanan because she loved Kanan infinitely, and she would never do any more harm to Kanan. And then Kanan would see this and be like, damn it, that's my mom. Despite everything that they had, she ultimately loved me, and she would never do me like that. That would fix fences, and that would also be a cool way. But it's like, no, I would prefer it if she actually was alive. I would prefer it fully. Like I would prefer it like if she was actually alive. Like you could say Marvin gets the bullet, Lulu leaves, and he goes to California to go find Jessica, and then Rock leaves, right? I would prefer it like that. Like those two leave, Marvin dies, and then that's how we end it. And then you can have Kanan and Breeze take over the streets and deal with the Italians, and then some other new threats that's gonna come in Power Origins. That's how I think I would, do the story, and it would work, in my opinion. But again, we're gonna see what's gonna happen in like season 5 and what's gonna take place. But overall, drop your comments and your thoughts down below on what you guys think of, Rock, dead or alive, right? And how would you actually like the idea of Rock just giving the street over to Kanan and she just leaves, right? He proved that he'll do anything and he'll take whoever life that he has to, and he proved that to her in a way, even though but let me know in the conversation down below, and like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I catch you all in the next one.